What is going on? How y'all doing out there on a Friday, July the 7th? It's your Unc here for the Friday Brunch. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your patience. Man, look, I'm to the point where I feel like the computer gremlins are at their best when I'm ready. It's always amazing to me because I was ready to roll, had everything straight, and then all of a sudden, a couple of things that I probably could have controlled, but didn't pay attention to. And now I'm a little bit late. I apologize, y'all. It is 1:28. It is your Unc. It's Friday. Hope everyone's doing well today. Hope you had a productive week, a little short week for most as the holiday kicked in this week. Got a chance to run up and check my son out up in Johnson C. Smith, and he's doing well. So I know he's looking forward to this upcoming football season, as I am. Hope everyone else is doing fine. I'm jumped through the folks who've come through the chat. I appreciate you all. My brother Winston is here as always. What's up, sir? False start in the house. What's going on, brother? My big brother Berto up here at 95 North Falcons talk show. Y'all make sure y'all sub them up. Yeah, happy Friday to you, my friend. John Brooks in the house as always. Rise up to you, man. Here's my buddy Armani. What's up, nephew? It said I got the French toast cooking. Absolutely, man. I hope everything is going well with you, Armani. I wanted you to jump in that last thing we had, man. I'm gonna have to start getting in touch with you a little earlier when we have some of these panels, because I actually wanted you to join on one or two of them. So listen, this is today, and I wanted to talk about, as I always do every year, and I know the YouTube community kind of just jumped on. I've been doing this for the last five years, but I was doing it mostly on Facebook. But YouTube, I've just kind of started connecting in, I would say, beginning of 2021 and all this good stuff. So I usually before the year, I run to either Barnes and Nobles or Books A Million, and I'm anxious to see what the magazines, those magazines that you always see in the grocery store when you're looking to see get your fantasy football guide or even some baseball. And for those of you into wrestling, they got the wrestling books and stuff like that. So I'm always interested to see what the national perspective is for the Falcons. And the reason I usually don't get it until July is because most of the time, the publications that come out before July don't include the draft, don't include everyone that was put in there and stuff like that. So I actually bought these magazines on, I think, Wednesday. And I have not looked at one article, and I have not looked in to see what it is, because I said to myself, let's share it with the peeps and go through together and see a couple of the first, signs of what people are thinking about us. And I think that's just we get caught up here in Atlanta where we want the Falcons to win every single game, every single time, have the perfect offense, unstoppable defense and everything. And inside our own bubble, we think we can't be stopped. And hopefully that's the case. But it's always good to hear what the outside looking in is. Just like a lot of us are ready to trash Tampa Bay because they have Baker Mayfield. And I heard something last week where one of the guys says Baker Mayfield it's the best thing that ever happened to him. And did you see that drive he made with the Rams and took them down to the touchdown? That's the guy he is. I was like, oh, okay, if that's what you think. So it's always good to see that other perspective. I see your son in enemy territory in Charlotte at Johnson C. Smith. I went to high school. Oh, okay. I got to catch up with you then about that, man. It's Charlotte. That was my first time going to Charlotte. And it was very cool. It was, cool for what it was at the time. So I enjoyed that. I got to get some, and y'all also know our frequent Atlanta Bird Gang contributor, Coach Tell, head coach at Johnson C. Smith. So it's always good to hear him chime in on what the Falcons are doing and stuff like that. So that's cool. Brother David in the house, what's going on, man? David also says most of the outside pundits don't have any faith in our quarterback situation. So while David is on that, let's take a look at the first one. One of the first ones I see, and I see you right there, Brother Todrick. What's going on, my friend? Happy Saturday. I wish it was Saturday. Happy Friday to you, my friend. All right, so let's put it together. The first one I have is Athlon. Athlon Sports 2023 NFL review. Again, I have not opened. I'm gonna just predict. I'm saying right now, I think they're probably gonna have us in. Just knowing how these books have a bad thing for us, they'll probably have us in third place. Okay. So let's look together. And okay, so here is what they say is going to happen in the NFC. And I'm going to flip it around for you guys so you can see it. I see you're in there, Scooter. What's going on, brother Scooter? We're talking about the national magazines that just came out over the last couple of weeks and what they think about the Falcons. So I'm going to put this up first. And this is Athlon Sports to make sure I attribute the source. And they are really good. So the NFC predictions, as you see, these are the playoff seeds. Philadelphia 1, Seattle 2, Green Bay 3. They think Carolina is going to win the South. San Francisco 4, Dallas 6. I'm sorry, San Francisco 5, Dallas 6, Detroit 7. As far as the Falcons are concerned, Athlon says Carolina is going to win the NFC South. The Saints are going to be second, Falcons third, Tampa Bay fourth. So that is one look. And then to go even further, this Athlon says the Atlanta Falcons are the number 11 pick. I know my hands are crooked, so y'all don't talk about 11 pick. Now, again, Athlon is a pretty decent magazine, but it's always interesting to me. They never, ever, ever, ever have faith in the Atlanta Falcons. And sometimes that's kind of the thing that I'm trying to explain to folks when they are ready to jump on criticism of players and things like that, to just say, was that your mama used to always tell you, you're not as cute as you think you are. And I think that's one of those cases with the Atlanta Falcons. I think we here, because putting a relationship to it, we're kind of like the family that stays in the house with the kid. Oh, he's so cute. He's so good. You know, you the baby, you good. You go ahead. You the cutest in the room. And the outside world doesn't look at you like that. And I think that's what it is with the Atlanta Falcons. So after I go through the chat real quick, I'm going to read what they say about the Falcons in here. Armani says, first time in Charlotte last weekend. I was there last weekend. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, brother. We gotta hook up offline, man. I'll holler at you then. Say John says, the magazines don't ever like us. They always have something bad to say about us. And you know, that's why it's always interesting to me, John. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you I'm a believer in what these guys are saying. I'm just saying this is the national perception that, you know, the media has of the Atlanta area. That's it. I'm not trying to say it's the end all be all their opinion, but I am trying to show people that there are folks out there that think, you know, we're not as great as we think we are. I think we're going to be a playoff team. I actually think we're going to win the division. But these geniuses here at Athlon don't think so. And I'm going to read in a little bit as soon as I talk to you all. D. Sloan in the house. What's up, brother? So I hope everything's good with you and the family. Let's go Ritter. Let's go Falcons. I hear you. Let's do it. Latoya in the house. How you doing, Latoya? Sounds so excited for the season to start. I'm going to training camp. Oh, awesome. For the first time. I think our guys are going to shock the league. I know we're going to shock people who wrote in Athlon magazine. Athlon magazine has us in third place in the South, which is ridiculous. Alberto says Colin Cowherd has always buried us, having us finishing third. I heard y'all the other day talking about Colin Cowherd. Yeah, I kind of don't even pay attention to him. I don't know what it is. I'll just put it on the shelf and say, yeah, it's something weird about Colin. Never been a huge Colin Cowherd fan, and his opinions are garbage. So who cares? But I hear you though. Armani said Falcons finished next to last in the division with a top 15 pick. Arthur Smith will not be there. I know that's right. My brother Big Low Country Sports is in the house. Y'all make sure, if you haven't already, congratulations to him too, crossing the hot coals and reaching 4,000 subscribers on YouTube is my buddy Big Low. Congratulations, my friend. And he says Desmond Ritter's odd for winning the MVP is 15,000 behind Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, and Ryan Tannehill. So again, and he just went to see these odds. So trust me, it's one of those things that this is not a look in the mirror thing. I think this is a more motivation kind of thing. That these folks have no faith. Matter of fact, this magazine says Bryce Young is going to come in and with the Carolina team, jump right to the front of the line. And granted, I'm not trying to act like Carolina didn't have a lot more pieces in place before. They lost a wide receiver and a couple of pieces as well. So, yeah, who knows? David says 5 straight losing season doesn't inspire much faith in anyone. Fair statement. Alberto says we are in shock the world mode. We better be. We had better be. Wallace, what's going on, sir? Thank you for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge on a Friday brunch. Just trying to check everybody out here. Wallace also says, but nothing is going to change until the season starts and we start winning to prove people wrong. That's the bottom line. Wallace, I think you hear me and I hear you all. We say it all the time. All of the prognostication is great. All of the it's fun to do, especially when there's no football going on. Absolutely fun to guess how the team is going to do and all of that. But until we actually get on the field, I agree with you. It's hard to make any kind of any kind of predictions of stuff. So let me read just a little bit about what they say. And this is Athlon. Athlon, who says we're going to lose. Well, they don't actually go by the thing. So I'm going to read what they say, the final analysis for the Atlanta Falcons. Final analysis is they started to build momentum with back-to-back wins to cap the 2022 season. And now the Falcons appear to be a much better team after making a number of key offseason moves. Although it remains to be seen how quickly Ritter will acclimate to his starting duties and how well the defense coalesce with so many additions. If you're wondering about the team's playoffs chances, perhaps it's a good sign that a veteran like Calais Campbell chose to join the Falcons over a more obvious contender. That's not to say Atlanta is ready to go toe-to-toe with a team like Philadelphia, but the Falcons should have enough talent and coaching to contend in the NFC South. Breaking their postseason drought could become a reality. So they give you some hope in there. They try to pretend like they're giving you some hope, but they think that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be third. And just for craps and giggles, I just wanted to see who they think. Okay, according to Athlon, and now I know they're on drugs. Okay, they say, according to them, the Super Bowl teams will be Kansas City over Seattle. They say Seattle is going to be the NFC representative. But that's just one magazine. That's Athlon Sports. They're usually pretty good. And they're actually a good read just to find out, little things about other teams. I always get them. So I can find out some other things about teams in there. So Athlon is actually pretty good magazine. I hate their prognostication of the Falcons, but it is what it is. John says, I can see how they think Bryce Young is going to make noise. That's because the Falcons didn't start Ritter over Marcus Pompeo. It's so weird to me that was so much a topic last week. I've been seeing all of us come back and question, dang, Arthur Smith, you should have let Ritter get in there earlier. We might have had a run at the division, which I was screaming to the top of my lungs about that decision. We should have easily made that call on there. That one Falcon fan, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you in the house. Thank you for joining us today on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Alberto says Seattle, really? That's interesting. And it's not to say that Seattle isn't a decent team, but Super Bowl? I like our chances as much as I like Seattle's, just keeping it real. We win a division game, get a home playoff game. I like our chances. Brother Philip, what's going on, man? Say I'm late. What did I miss? Philip, we just happened to get a couple of the magazines today. I just went through Athlon. That's one of them. And just trying to see what their thoughts of the Falcons were. I had not opened the magazine until just now. So that's what we're doing, just running through there. And I wanted to give a bonus question, y'all. Y'all know your uncle just love this entertainment stuff. I really want to know, for those of you in the chat. We're going to continue on to the next magazine. Britney Spears and Victor, I got to know how to pronounce his name. I say Victor, Big Victor from the NBA. I know I got to get better with that. Yesterday's interaction, or the day before's interaction, where, Britney Spears now is claiming that Victor's security team assaulted her. Wait for it. because Britney broke through his security to go touch the man. So I'm really interested to see what people think about this. I was going to try to hold that question until this weekend, probably when we got a little bit more chill time. But I would like to know Britney versus Victor. Whose side do y'all take in that? I just thought, to me, it was a lot of ignorance on Britney's part. I'm sorry. You should know, of all people, about having security around and the things you probably didn't see going on in your prime when you had your folks, and people would break through and try to touch you or something like that. Now Victor says he didn't know what was going on after she touched him. He said she grabbed him. She said she tapped him on the shoulder. He said she said. So we'll never know the truth. But I just want to know what y'all think about that. We're going to still go through the Falcon stuff and everything, but y'all know I'm big pop culture on certain things. I'm just where do y'all lie with that? Do y'all lie on the side of Britney Spears simply just trying to see? And what didn't make sense to me was Britney. Now, of all the things you would think Britney Spears would be doing is trying to wish a basketball player much success. That didn't even sound right. And then also somebody said she was talking in a British accent and saying this is effing America if when the security broke up. So anyway, lot of stuff involved in there, but I just want to know what y'all thought about that. That one Falcon fan said heard Sanu wouldn't mind coming back to Atlanta. I mean, I probably would go in another direction if Sanu wants to come, and I just don't see a big role for him at this point. I would rather try to develop some of the receivers that you have on the team. Love Sanu. Love what he brought to the Falcons, especially during the Super Bowl year. But I just think going back and reaching to get old relics, I mean, we might as well, what we're going to do next, go get Matt Ryan, see if he's ready, or see if Devonta ain't doing nothing. I know he's not. But I don't say that disrespectfully to your to your statement. I just say, let that go on and pass. Let's see. Berto says, question please. Does Arthur make a change at quarterback if Ritter doesn't produce his promise? Of course he does. His job is on the line. And I'm not willing to say he's on a hot seat of any kind, but I will say the pressure is on him to win. And I think if he sees it's not working, I think he'll be more inclined to pull the trigger this year than he was last year. You got to remember, last year, it really wasn't as much pressure to pull the trigger because of the people he had on the roster. This year, with the investments we've made and the veterans on those teams, if for some uncanny reason Ritter doesn't catch on, you got to make that move. I don't even think it's that much of a question. Winston said, Wembanyama. Wembanyama. It's going to take me a while to get that. But Wembanyama. Appreciate that, Winston. David says, as much as I love Britt, she should know better than just run up on that man. See, that's my deal. Especially if you see folks around him. And that's why I just say, out of all the people, the ignorance for her to all of a sudden not remember what she probably had to deal with. Like, you can't just be running through that man's entourage. Because I was talking to my wife about it yesterday. That man probably don't even know who Britney Spears is. That man, what, 18, 19? Britney was past her prime by the time he was born. And by the time he got, all he knew was she was a groupie. So I don't know. John says, it's being said that she grabbed him first. Yeah, I don't even think they're denying that she touched him first. I don't think there's any denying that. I think the big thing is, the security guard. One story says the security guard slapped her. One said the security guard hit her hand hit her, all of that. So that's what's going to get worked out. But, I just... Yeah. Facebook user says, we all know she's mental health. Yeah. And I thought about that too. And I know, and that's one of the first things I thought about, that she hasn't been on her game lately. But I don't know. I just still not thinking that's the smart thing to do. I mean, I would love to have been there and seen it myself, because the story is going to get all twisted no matter what. But, 3:30 in the house. What's going on, 3:30? Said, just got on. I think the Ritter move, late for me, was a we can't turn back now move. Mariota stayed healthy longer than I thought he was, so we bit that bullet. And I think you're on to something. And the fact, Dirty, that there really wasn't a lot to lose last year. Yeah, we got teased when we were 4-4 and on top of the division and things were going right and stuff like that. But if we're honest with ourselves, last year was probably even more than 2021. 2021, you still had the franchise guy here, and you were hoping he could light a fire in the folks. 2022 was truly meant to be a throwaway season. Not trying to say the guys weren't trying to win. I'm saying I don't think the expectation, if they're honest with themselves, I'm not saying that the players don't want to win, but I don't think the organization was set up to win. That's why I think Arthur Smith was very reluctant to kind of let the reins go and let the reins off and let Ritter get in there, because I think he said, man, I'm going to get this man killed. So I don't know, but I still would have made the move at the Carolina game. Rusty, what's going on, bro? Rusty says, I think the reason people are hesitant to buy into the Falcons hype is because 18 of the last 21 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are first ballot Hall of Famers. If you go back and look at it, I'm way more excited about Dez this year than I was with Marcus last year, though. His ceiling is higher than Marcus, in my opinion. P.S. With all due respect, Britney Spears needs to be in a mental health hospital. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think that's what her family was trying to tell everybody. And I think with every social media thing she does, with every weird thing, I mean, this didn't turn out to be a lot. But I just think the way it seems like Britney's team might be trying to act like it was all his fault, stuff like that. John says, she did shave her head. Oh, yes, I remember. Yeah, it was some weird stuff going on there. Berto says, Freeman busy dodging palm trees. Hey, you leave Tidy's favorite person alone, man. Ghost Peppers, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? So I remain unfazed toward the naysayers counting us out. Reason being, it comes with the territory. As a Falcon fan, I'm used to it. Games are won on the field. 100%, absolutely. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Happy Friday to you as well. Wister says, Britney too short to reach his shoulders. She lied. Because that's what he said. He said she grabbed him, which it does make sense for him to say, no, she grabbed him. I mean, she grabbed him. She didn't touch his shoulder. Scooter says she can't expect a 19-year-old kid to know who Britney Spears is. Bingo. That's what I say. Brother Joe, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the house, brother. Thank you for joining us. Winston says ESPN reported no charges to be filed. Yeah, I never thought it was going to be anything. I know they said they have to look at that stuff. I never thought it was going to be any charges. I think sometimes it's not even about the charges. Sometimes it's just about the he say, she say. The young man, I was about to say Thanos, Kang the Conqueror, and his name is Jonathan Majors. Losing my mind. I still haven't seen anything solid on that, but yet that man's career is now in limbo because of one person's opinion, and that's a little bit different because I know they had a relationship. So let me stop and twist over. Wallace says, well, how soon do you want Arthur to make the change? Because you have to let him play through his mistakes before he makes that call. Well, let me get it twisted. Don't get it twisted, Wallace. If you're talking around 500, if you're talking 4-5, 5-4, excuse me, somewhere in that vicinity, yeah. If you're talking 2-7 and there are things on his end specifically, that could be a totally different story. I'll say this. For the ups and downs that the Falcons went through last year, there was only, I think, near the middle when we went through that little, 3-game losing streak in the middle. That was the only time that we actually kind of dipped down 3 games under 500. So if Ritter would have been in that situation last year, I would have let him play through it, especially because he was new. Winston says, I would have made the move, but Marcus has more escapability and Ritter needed time to develop. And people, it's funny. I hear people talk about Ritter and his escapability. I will say this. Marcus Mariota at the beginning of the year, now I don't know, maybe he got tired. At the beginning of the year, he was definitely a better option to get out of things. He definitely had some elusiveness those first few games. So, what's up, Armand? How you doing in here? Good to see you. John says, she's loose. She's Lucy. She's loony. Heard she's not there mentally. Yeah, and you hate that. David says, publicity stunt. Will we see new music from Britney in the near future? I don't know. Maybe she'll make a song about what they went through. All right, y'all. We went through the Athlon. Now this is the second one I have. The Lindy's Sports Pro Football 2023 preview. Again, I have not looked at this because I wanted to be surprised to see what's going on. I see you, Brother Kelly. How you doing, my friend? Good Friday to you too, man. So again, another respected national magazine, and I'm opening it up, and I want to see where they think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be. Here, give me 1 second. Okay, so the Atlanta Falcons, and I apologize, some of these books, I think they go backwards. They put the prognostication in the back as opposed to the front. So let's see. All right. They say, man, and I I guess they really did have this one the other way around. Okay. The thing I like about this too, they also put the unit rankings on here. So I'm gonna read some of what they think where we are as far as units. Quarterback, we have nobody in the top 10. They do have Taylor Heineke as the number 3 backup in the NFL. Playmakers, which is really weird. Wide receiver, they don't have him in the top 15, but as far as a playmaker is concerned, they have Drake London number 4. I find that kind of interesting. Tight ends, they have Kyle Pitts at number 4. Running game, they say the NFC, we are number 4 in the running game. So it's kind of interesting because they seem to at least give a little bit more love to the Falcons as far as that's concerned. But I'm trying to see exactly where they. Here it is, the NFL picks. And I'm sorry that took so long. All right. According to Lindy's, they say the Atlanta Falcons 3rd. They picked the New Orleans Saints to be 3rd. I'm trying to put it right there. NFC South. Hope y'all can see it. Maybe not. They picked New Orleans 1st, Carolina 2nd, Atlanta 3rd. So again, another one. And they picked their Super Bowl. They say 49ers versus the Bills. So again, another magazine, 2 magazines that think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be 3rd place in the division. So I guess it is the we against the world in this type of thing, because you're not going to find a lot of places that are thinking the Falcons are, are that good, I guess. Winston says Ritter has 8 games. If we're 4-4 and the team is carrying him and his mistakes are glaring, you pull him to save the season. 5-3, 6-2. There are little kinks. You stick with them. Okay, that's pretty strong. I would say if we're 4-4 though, Winston, I would like to see the temperature of the rest of the teams in the division. If we're 4-4 and 1 game out, I'm not sure if I would pull him. If we're 1 game out. That could make a little bit of a difference to me. A little bit. Rusty Coast, the comedic route. And I thought about that song. Way silly. Winston says London number 4 ranking as a playmaker came from Ritter staring down one side of the field and him still coming up with the ball. Yeah, that's true. So that's one of the things. I just that's what I'm thinking, y'all. These are 2, again, Athlon Sports and Lindy's Sports. These are 2 magazines. I'll be interested to see. It's usually about 2 or 3 more that come out during the season that we can, look at later on and see. But this just goes back to telling everybody it's not a when we truly look at what we have. I wonder, do the people on the outside, are they looking at old typical Falcons, or are they really looking at the moves we've made? I think a lot of these people aren't even paying attention to the moves. I'll be willing to bet you some of the folks in these books, they probably couldn't even tell you the people we drafted, what we've done in free agency. So it's a tough road for a team like the Falcons. The Falcons, kind of like Wallace said, we have to go out there and kind of take our respect. Got to go out there and win. You go out there and win, they start talking about you. See Detroit. Go out there and win. And Detroit was 9-8. And there's folks out there thinking, I'm hearing things about Detroit going to the championship game with Jared Goff. Winston says, I pull him now, and we even he haven't even got the training camp. If it's an open competition, I got Heineke beating him, to be honest. The problem is, though, I think, Winston, they've already – it's going to be hard for them to go back on that. They basically said he's the number 1 guy. And I know they're going to put on some type of exhibition of a competition, but I just don't think they can go back. They put his name out there. They're putting him in all the little spots where he's the leader. They're putting him out on the the stuff that you see on AtlantaFalcons.com. And I'm not trying to say if he falls flat on his face, that means you can't take him out because of those things. But they've kind of gone out of their way, even with Taylor Heineke saying, hey, I was brought in here to back him up. With all of that going on, I think they put themselves in a kind of an awkward situation. The caveat, if he's doing bad, I'm not telling you that's not a reason not to pull him, but I am saying they have kind of thrown all their eggs in that basket. So I do believe that they're going to go in that direction. Scooter says Tom Brady retires and everybody and their mama got Tampa Bay last. That goes to show you the quarterback is the most important position. Scooter, you know you preach it to the choir with that one. I try to tell everyone that same thing. And even what they were trying to say in the book right here, I don't think it's about liking somebody. That we get caught up in. We don't like Ritter. No, it's not about that. It's about, that quarterback position is real. And until we see real starting on game one against Carolina, the book, the story hasn't been written yet. Kelly said, I think the Lamar situation gave national attention to the quarterback position. I think national doubt in a third round pick is the reason for everyone underselling us. But that's kind of legit though, right? How many teams come into the year? And I'm not saying you draft a guy. There are very few times, and please don't bring up Russell Wilson because they actually went through they went through a competition in Seattle. But how many times has a team drafted a quarterback in the third round to start the season and saying, nope, that's our guy going into the year? And I say third round, let me caution, because I keep saying this like he just got picked this draft. I realize he's been sitting on the sideline, so that does make a little bit of difference. But even in their sophomore year, there are very few franchises that are ready to give the reins to someone in the third round. Obviously, the Falcons are doing it, so he must have something there. So I trust what Terry Fontenot is trying to do. I trust all the other moves he's made. But at the same time, y'all, you can't be shocked that everyone isn't all on board with the Rittermania. It's not a matter of not liking. Everybody wants to be liked. It's not about liking him. It's about whether he does the job. I like Kyle Pitts, but I want him to be able to do the job this coming year. And I know all of the ancillary stuff, the reasons why he couldn't, but I want more from him. Drake London had a decent season last year. Need to get that stick on them hands, but I expect him to be of a higher standard, y'all. So, and please don't mistake that for you just hating on the young guys and blah, 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 which is the most ridiculous, idiotic thing to ever say. I want these guys to be great. I want these guys to win a Super Bowl. So we got to get out of our feelings sometimes. Francis, what's going on? Say, hey, Uncle Steve, I think they're not looking at the improvement of the players we have now and judging on our past performance. I think that's exactly what they're doing. You're right. You're right. And think about the leap of faith, Francis, that people from the outside are going to have. So people from the outside, not Atlanta fans. Now take yourself out of the situation, Falcon fans, for 1 second. So the Falcons in the last 5 years, well, I'll say it again, 7-9, 7-9, 4-12, 7-10, 7-10. And at the end of the 5 years, the organization says, this is the outside looking in, the outside sees, oh, we're going to bring in the 3rd round pick from last year and let him be quarterback. What do you think the perception is going to be of the Falcons? I quite honestly, the reason why I think these teams are picking us 3rd and not last, because we've made major moves on the defense. I really think it's not going to surprise me if we sneak up and have a really good defense this year. And that I thank Terry for, because you got to have a deep, you got to have some players to support Ritter on the other side in case things go left. And I think that's the main reason why a lot of people think Atlanta is going to be very competitive this year, because we didn't have a competitive defense last year. We had a bend don't break defense, especially at the end. Go look at the numbers. All you got to do is look at the points. But now it looks like we might have some, I don't know. We might be able to stop some folks this year. But it's about that QB position. MW, the franchise player, what's going on? Happy Friday to you. Good to see you in the house. Winston says they can't now. They've tried to wait as long as they could to make him, but now that is out, they have to run with him till he gets himself fired. Yeah. Kelly says the perception of us choosing Ritter over Lamar is going to force Arthur Smith to ride with Ritter despite performances, in my opinion. That's actually not a bad thought either. You're right. Yeah, because when they publicly came out and said he's the number 1 guy, think about how that lined up. They made all of those statements like perfectly in a row, like within 25. Was that the owners meeting? I forgot what it was. It was something where the coaches and the players were at the same place and they kind of officially announced it. They knew. I have my brother Tidy here, Atlanta Bird Gang. Y'all make sure you please go over to check him out on YouTube. He had a nice, they showed that interception he made, Brent Grimes made in that New Orleans game, man. I forgot all about that play. But y'all go check him out to see some good content over there. Says it's been over 2,000 days since the Falcons have had a winning record and only 2 winning seasons out of the last 10 years. National media in Vegas don't hate on the Falcons. We are just at the point as a franchise where it's prove it or shut up. Nobody but Falcon fans have faith in the 3rd round quarterback. Hell, our backup quarterback may actually be the best quarterback on the roster. As we Falcon fans a lot of times can't see or admit our bias. By the way, I heard Goat Freeman slander. Was it me? No, not me. I thought I was talking about Freddie Freeman. You heard me talk about Freddie, not Devonta. No, let's talk about Freddie. But I hope y'all please go back and look at that. I mean, and something stuck with me with that this part at the end. National media in Vegas don't hate on the Falcons. And I've come to the conclusion that I think, and I really want to save that for a weekend debate. I've come to the conclusion that I think there are those fans that say every decision made is going to make us the best team in the NFL. And I guess you're supposed to think in that direction or support the decision. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I would have tried harder maybe for a veteran quarterback. I don't know. Maybe. Now, we have what we have, so, I'm satisfied and we'll go on. But it's okay to not feel great about some decisions and still love your team. But that's very important. National media in Vegas don't hate on the Falcons. And then doubling up, we are just at the point as a franchise where it's put up or shut up. And please tell me, fans, for those of us who do believe this is going to be different, this will be different than the last year or two. I will say that. But I've heard this is the best roster we've ever had at Atlanta Falcons. That's from people who might be 20, 21 years old or something like that, or maybe even less. I've heard this is the best roster we've had. Come on, y'all. Slow down. Slow down. Scooter says my dog Tidy's gonna show up for the GOAT frame. I don't know why. I wish he would have been out there teaching the brother how to block. I don't know why he out there rooting for him. Where is he now though? Is he done? Is he done for real? He might be. But I guess he is in his 30s. Facebook user says, after 5 long years of losing and not being over 500 at any time, you got to prove it before anyone considers you to be any good. So this is the opposite. And I'm glad that some of y'all that come in here, y'all come in here with an open mind, because I know there are a lot of other creators that, you know, they'll pump you full of the adrenaline juice all day and just say, we're the best at every position decision we made is the greatest, every position, and that's fine. And I applaud some of it. I applaud it. But if you're going to talk to me, you're going to talk to somebody who seen the 70s, seen the 80s, seen the 90s, and I'm sure most of you've seen the 2000s, but it ain't a whole lot that y'all gonna be able to show me to try to make me feel like, this assembled group here is gonna be more talented than any Falcon team ever. Really? I know that's probably to get clickbait or something like that, but yeah. And Winston says the owners meeting with the owners and coaches. I thought it was, because I remember Fontenot coming out and Arthur Smith coming out at the same time. Wallace says, but we was never going to get Lamar from the jump. And I don't know why people thought we was, because the Ravens were never going to let him walk. But you know what, Wallace, at that time, not trying to be funny, nobody knew what was going on with the Lamar. We can easily say there was no way Lamar was going to leave. We can easily say that. Most of the time when you're talking about people who are talking about being traded and stuff like that, Aaron Rodgers, there's no way Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay. There's no way Tyreek Hill leaves Kansas City. So we don't know. I mean, so it's you know, I don't want to play the, of course y'all knew he wasn't going to leave. No, because if he was going to stay with Baltimore, he would have signed his deal a year and a half ago. I can't agree with that. MW, the franchise players, say just like in 2012 and 16, these analysts and whatnot won't talk about the Falcons until they're winning late in the season. Let them sleep as long as we're in the preseason. And, you know, franchise, I almost want that part to happen. And from the fan standpoint, it's not going to give you an extra gold star if you were running through the wall for the Falcons in training camp, because that's great. But if you're a fan, you're a fan. Your fandom is not going to be because you were the greatest fan in the world in May. Y'all gonna have to, some of y'all gonna have to go a little further than that, dig a little deeper. This train has been ridden. My seat cushion is worn out. And I'm still here. And I'm still taking the same route. Still paying the same money. I'm still getting on the same bus. And I'm getting dropped off before the championship every time. Last couple of years, they didn't even let me get to the stadium. They dropped me off before I get to the stadium, which stadium means playoffs. So, yeah. Winston says fans are still living off 16 and 17 seasons, but honestly, we didn't win the big game, nor did we get out of the first round the following year. And we have done that. We did get out of the first round. We beat the Rams. And have done nothing since. Got to show we're worthy. And that's all of that is true. With the exception of the first round. We did beat the Rams that one game. Don't forget. Smart Ride in the house. What's going on, man? Says some of our fan base is simply delusional. Ritter played below average competition in the AAC. One good surprise season. Average arm strength. I want to win too, but I'm an adult and I need results. See, and that's a narrative that I'm trying not to go to, Smart Ride. I'm trying not to. And it's not that I don't want to diminish people's passion for this team. I really don't. But I do feel like you're feeling. I gotta see the results. I got to. I gotta see what the dude can do. I gotta see. I'm telling y'all right now, for the first time in about 3-4 years, I am kind of excited for the defense. No lie, no kidding. I am excited for what I see from the defense, and especially to see what Coach Nielsen is going to do. That part has me over the moon. Our running game is nice. I hear you, but folks, you can have the best defense in the league, sack people over 70 times. But if you can't overcome that person that gets the ball every single offensive play, if you can't overcome that guy, can Ritter be that guy? Maybe. We'll see. But I got to see it. Amanda says, I will say this. If Desmond Ritter doesn't work out and the Falcons fail to make the playoffs, that's a fireable offense. Too many opportunities to get a quarterback and you choose pass catchers. Y'all know I've said it too many times. I just don't want. It's just good to hear other people think the same way that I do sometimes. Boss Trucker in the house. Yeah, I know you, boss. I know you know what's going on. Glanville erased June Jones, Lehman Bennett. Yeah, he said I've seen it all. I know you have, and so and we're not saying that thing to say we know more than anybody, but we are saying that thing to say. And if I ask boss, how many times have we been preached that this is going to be the year? I'm not saying the fans can't have anything to look forward to. Not trying to say that. I'm saying the overpumpness. Oh, y'all always talking down about the Falcons because y'all just mad because Ritter. I ain't mad. Just like Boss said. And me and Boss been around to see June Jones as a player and a coach. It's not hate. It's just a repetitive nature that has us more on the less optimistic, more pessimistic side. Has zero to do with being a fan, zero to do with your fandom. It has to do with just saying, we just know better. We just know better. Smart Rod says, can we also please stop this positionless football nonsense narrative? If Ritter plays center, Drake plays right tackle, then okay, but it's not a positionless football. You know what it is? They need catchphrases and stuff like that to make you feel better. And when I hear them say stuff like that, I say to myself, watch everybody else pick up on it. I heard Zach Klein say it in one of his things a couple of weeks ago. I can't think of what the lady's name is that's on Channel 5. And she said the same thing. So they say, okay, here's the catchphrase, positionless player. And you're absolutely right. And until I see Desmond Ritter go out there and go in the slot and start catching passes, And then I see Tyler Algier go onto the quarterback position and start throwing. Yeah, I hear you. Amanda says front office let us down way too many times. And this is, I'm gonna tell you though, and this is the thing, nephew. This is really the first year Terry's gonna get truly scrutinized, because Terry took us from that albatross of a salary cap situation we had, and he gave us this offseason. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I gave Terry the biggest pass in 21 and 22 because he had to get rid of all that stuff, undo all of that Thomas Dimitrov did. He had to. So I'm willing to give him that. Now, he and Arthur Smith, that is, are getting ready to get judged, fairly or unfairly. Folks, I got to get rolling here. I appreciate y'all, especially y'all that hung out. I'm gonna have a show on Sunday, and I'm gonna put the time in there. But I want y'all to put about this. Too many times I've heard this phrase, whether it be football, basketball, whatever. And I think the person that brought it up was talking about Marcus Smart. And the guy said they shouldn't have got rid of Marcus Smart. He's one of those players that got that dog in him. And I want to discuss on Sunday having that dog in you. Is it real dog, or is it just a phrase we put on things these days? That's what we're going to talk about Sunday. I'll frame it up and I'll put it in the YouTube post, and we'll talk about that on Sunday afternoon. Until then, man, y'all have a blessed Friday. And it's hot out there too. I'm looking. What is it? What does it say? 90. It's 90 degrees now, but I'm telling you, it feels steamier than 90 degrees. But y'all take care of yourself. Hydrate, man, and y'all take care of all your folks, and air conditioning, keep it on, hydrate, all that good stuff. Until then, y'all take care. I'll catch y'all on Sunday afternoon. Peace.